Good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy New Year. I hope your new year is starting out well. My new year has started out pretty crazy, to say the least, but in a really, really good way. So many things going on. I mean, I feel like I really, really have to make a lot of time for meditation, for reflection, because so much is going on now. And I'm in like so many conference calls daily. I mean, and I feel my energy being really spread a little too thin. So I'm really, really focusing on the things that I have to do, but really making time for my meditation, because it's not about taking action. Hi, Mako. How are you? How are you? So the reason why I wanted to come live on today is to really answer your questions about the topic of how money flows to you. You know, I released 2 videos the last 2 weeks about how money naturally and organically can flow to you in more abundance. And a couple of you asked me, how does this happen? How do I, raise my frequency? How do I, get into the flow of that natural abundance of money? And so if you have any questions about uh, this topic, about how money flows, or if there's another question that you are dying to ask, please ask the question in chat, and I will answer them. So the first question that that I think is on a lot of people's minds about money flow is, as I talk to about how we can more naturally and organically flow it into our experience. That's the question. It's not about taking action, which I think action is necessary. But, oftentimes you see people take so much action and nothing happens still. I see people in businesses, they take so much action and it's like you're throwing something against the wall, hoping that something will stick. Well, if you have to take that much action, number one, you are expending tremendous amount of energy. And number two, you're expending a lot more resources, money resources, because you have to try many different things, and number three, you're delaying the process of making money. So for me, it's not really about taking a lot of action, although, I do take action. I always take inspired action. So for me, Mako, you want to do a question not related to the theme of money? Yes, you can. And I'll answer. I'll answer it. So I will just let me finish this thought. Just so write any questions that you have. Any questions that you have, just write it and I will answer it. I will get to it, Mako. So please do so. So if you take a lot of action, and you're not leveraging your connection with the power of the universe, often what happens is, you take action and it doesn't stick. And now you have to take more action and then it doesn't stick. And then you have to take more action, it doesn't stick. And then you're frustrated. You says, why isn't money coming to me? Well, what it is that I talked in my video previously about having this internal, natural, organic feeling of abundance inside here. Because we're talking about the laws of attraction. The law of attraction is that, two same vibrational energetic frequencies, when they come together, they match, they align, that's when manifestation occurs. And so I was saying in my videos, if you had watched those 2 videos, and if you haven't, make sure you watch the 2 videos. Hello, Estrella, that if your vibrational frequency is down here and money abundance frequency is up here, you are always missing the money abundance. It's like two passing ships right here, right? You have to raise that frequency to hear for that alignment. And so a few of you asked, Moon, how do I raise that frequency to align with that money abundance? The answer is it's your feeling. It's the feeling. I always say that when you have a thought, that thought is broadcasting to the universe and it's a signal to your universe of what you desire. But you have to also be able to draw in the money abundance. You can't not only signal to the universe, but you have to be able to draw it in. You have to be able to receive. And this is where people mess up, is that even though they have a thought that they want to be abundant financially, they can't draw it in. Why? Why can they not be able to draw in that money, even though they have a thought that they want to be financially abundant? The reason why they can't draw in that money abundance is because of their feeling. The feeling. The universe knows your feeling. It measures your feeling. The feeling is what allows you to draw in. So even if you have $2 in the bank, because the universe doesn't read the bank, the universe is only reading you energetically. That's what the universe reads, is energy. Doesn't read what's in the bank, the amount that's in your bank. And so your emotions and your thoughts are energy. That's why when you have a thought, that's an energetic vibrational frequency that I want to be financially abundant. And the universe says, oh, yes, Moon or Anna or Mako or Estrella or Mary wants to be financially abundant. So you've signaled that out to the universe, but you have to be able to draw it in. You have to be able to receive the cooperative components. And it's in the feeling that you're receiving. It's in the feeling. The feeling is what allows you to receive. So you have to have that unconditional feeling of abundance. That's what it is. So if you have $2 in the bank and you keep observing that $2 in the bank and you feel that lack of abundance, you can't draw in, you can't start to draw in that financial abundance. That's why you have to start to have unconditional abundance, that feeling. The feeling is what you want. Even if you have $2 in the bank and you feel that internal abundance, and this is what I talked about in that video, is about internal abundance, because you already have an internal abundance regardless of whatever your external circumstances. God has given you an internal abundance already. You are internally abundant inside, regardless of whether you have $1 in the bank or $10 million in the bank. And that internal abundance is something that you could tap into 24/7. And when you tap into that internal abundance, that is, and you feel that internal abundance, you feel it. It's the feeling that you have to get. Then you're aligning your vibrational frequency to that of abundance. And so this is where so many people trip up, is that even though they want abundance, they can't receive abundance because they don't feel abundant because of what they are observing in their experience, in their outer world physical manifestation. So if they keep observing, oh, I have $2 in the bank, they keep having the feeling of lack of abundance. And as you keep having that feeling, the feeling of lack of abundance, you can't start to receive the cooperative components that the universe is trying to send you to start to have more of that financial abundance. Yes. Oh, Corella. Yes. I do believe in Feng Shui. I also love Vatsu. Vatsu is the Hindu version of Feng Shui, and I think it's even older than Feng Shui. Yes, absolutely. Why? Why is Feng Shui a powerful modality? Because everything in this universe, including your space, your home space, your office space, building space, is all governed by energy. And so when you have a space and you're blocking the flow of energy in that space, it also affects your money abundance. It does, because everything is energetic. So in Vatsu, they always say, don't put your don't put your bed headboard against the north wall. Well, it turns out in my master bedroom, I had to put my bed against the north wall. However, there are other feng shui remedies that could remedy that situation. There's a million things that you can do in feng shui to remedy situations. So if you want to use feng shui as a modality to attract more money, then consult with a feng shui expert, because and I actually have videos on I have a video with a feng shui expert, Donna Stellhorn, on how to attract money with feng shui. So look up that video. So Corella, was it Corella that asked me that? Oh, Corella. Yeah. So Corella, why don't you look up that video? So yes, the way your environment is set up is either healthy energy or new energy, or negative energy. And so even in my space, like I'm selling a property right now, and I went in and we didn't quite sell it in the time frame that I wanted. So I went in and I saged the entire place. I even did a meditation with the realtor. I I talked to the house and I said, I love you, I love you, I love you. I meditated on the right buyer for the house. I did all that stuff. Do you have any advice? Okay, so Mako has a question. Do you have any advice for studying how to be more concentrated, how to have more volition or willpower? Yeah. Mako, that's a really good question. I think what you have to do is you have to calm the mind for any concentration to start to happen. You want to be in what they call a state of flow. State of flow is when you have that concentration. When you talk about, there's our great sports figures, like the great basketball player Michael Jordan, or any great sports figure that you meet, and they've accomplished so much. They always say that there's a flow. There's a certain flow that they just go into. And when you're in that flow, that creates that real focused concentration. What's happening is that you basically have blocked out, all of this white noise in your mind. It's the white noise that prevents us from being in that flow. It's like the white noise of stress and about the future and about the past and all this thoughts that you have that's running in your mind, prevents you being in the power of now. When you're in the flow, you are fully present in this moment. And when you are fully present in this moment and you are in that flow, and you don't have all these thoughts about the past and future that's going in your mind, that's when you can really concentrate and study. Concentration is being present in the now and being connected to your flow with the universe, and without all these crazy thoughts going in your head about the past or the future. That's being in the flow. So you have to cleanse the mind. You have to cleanse the mind to be in a concentrated state. That's why meditation is an amazing way to cleanse that mind. Now, there are many ways to meditate. Meditate just doesn't mean you sit here do like this. Maybe taking a hike is meditation for you, where you could cleanse the mind. Maybe reading a book is a meditative state for you, where you can cleanse your mind. For my husband, he loves to fly. Flying is his passion. When my husband flies, that's when he is in a meditative state. Meditation means being fully aware of this moment right here, right now. So once you start releasing all of those white noise thoughts of the past and the future, and you've become fully present in the mind and in the now, you can go focus and concentrate. So meditation is your greatest tool for this. And like I said, you don't have to go like this to meditate. You could take a hike. You could go swimming. You could read a book. You know, meditation means being fully in the now. So you want to train your mind to be in the now, in the now, in the now. And then you'll find that focus and concentration. And it's all about practice. It's all about practice, Mako. Practice. I practice every day. I practice every day. I practice self-love every day. Feelings of worthiness every day. I meditate for at least 1 hour every day, if not more. I constantly practice, because once you practice, you'll get better and better. Jenny, okay. Sheila Dunno, how can I feel more peaceful in my apartment? Okay, let me just scan the questions. There's so many questions. Moon, do you think acupressure and meditation can regulate a person's hormones being at the age of transition? Yeah, Jenny, you know what? I go see my acupuncturist, Jin, every 2 weeks. I love acupuncture because, you know, I don't think it could, acupressure and meditation will not make it worse, for sure. If anything, it will help, because all hormones, all biochemistry, you know, and hormones is a biochemical effect, right? It's a physical biochemistry effect. Biochemistry effect is ultimately governed by the way energy flows through your body. You are fundamentally energy, a non-physical energy wave consciousness. And so the physical part of you, that biochemical part of you, comes out of that energy consciousness. So hormones is a biochemical reaction. So yes, I feel that once you balance your energies, then you balance everything in your body, not just your hormones. You balance, you know, other types of ailments. But, you know, it has to, you know, the meditations and acupressure, it's not necessarily going to solve all of your problems if you don't know how to move that energy in the right way. You know, that's why you go to see a good, you know, acupuncturist, or you learn about the acupressure, which points can help you move that hormone. In acupressure, it's all about the points. This point will move this point will move that, this point will move this, right? So it all has to be done in the right way for your particular body. Whether it's meditation, and meditation can change. What I've meditated 3 years ago, I may not do some of that meditation now. I might do another type of meditation, because all of those healing modalities change based on where you are at, based on how you are evolving and changing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. What is personally your favorite form of meditation? You know, I love I can't really say that there is a favorite because I feel like I use, I love Vipassana. I love just focusing on my breath. I love there's so many kinds of meditations that I think they're all oranges and apples. I do Ho'oponopono too. I do salt talk meditations. I do so many different kinds. It depends on what I need that day. It depends on what transcendental. I've done that in the past. It really depends on what you need at this stage or today. So for me, I can't say that I have a favorite one. I think all meditation is valuable, used at the right time. That's my answer for that. So I hope that answers your questions, Leo. Sometimes okay, Annabella. Okay, this is a big one. It's so hard for me to overcome childhood trauma. Sometimes I feel unworthy because of my experience. Anna, let me tell you something. This is a trauma that I so resonate with because I have had childhood trauma at the hands of my father. My father abused us mentally, emotionally, physically, me, my siblings, my mother. And so what I want to tell you this is that first of all, you are unconditionally worthy. And so because of that childhood trauma, because what happens in childhood traumas often is that the child cannot process what's happening to them. When there is, physical, mental, emotional abuse from the people that are raising you, the child has no ability to process that in a way that could block that negative energy from entering them. A child can't, the child doesn't have enough wisdom. The child doesn't have the wisdom that it was my dad or my mom or that person. It was their garbage, not mine, right? It's very difficult not to absorb the energy of the people that are raising you, right? And so, Annabella, that feeling of self-worth is my biggest lesson in this physical lifetime for my soul's expansion and growth. And the reason why I realized that my soul chose an abusive father is because my soul needed to learn the lesson of unconditional self-worth. My soul needed to learn that lesson of unconditional self-worth. Louise Hay, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, she always says, your soul chooses your parents to learn lessons from them. And I chose an abusive father, not intentionally. None of this is conscious. This is all in a spiritual, in a deep level, on an unconscious level, that my soul needed to learn unconditional self-worth. And my God, my father was my greatest teacher for that. Because if it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be nurturing or cultivating that unconditional self-worth. So Anna, what do I do? That's why I went into this work of spirituality. Why did I start my spiritual path and start to nurture it? Because of that feeling of lack of self-worth. This is why I had to do it. This is why I created Yin and Yang Living, because of that lack of self-worth. So I had to practice meditation. I had to, put Post-its to train my subconscious mind. Look at the mirror, do the mirror work. Moon, I love you. You're perfect. You're enough. So there's videos, Anna. There's a video called How to Train Your Subconscious Mind. Look up that video. Look up the video about self-worth. Look that up, Anna. I train myself every single day When I walk my dog, I say, Moon, you are beautiful. You are enough. You are unconditionally worthy. Every single day, I train myself. So this is a practice. It's a process. And the days that you don't feel worthy, and there are still days where I don't feel worthy, I guarantee it. I used to beat myself up during those days. Don't do that. Have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for this journey. It's about the journey. It's not about the destination. Why is it about the journey? Because your soul is eternally expanding and growing. That's a journey. It's never going to a destination. It's eternally expanding and growing. That's why it's always about the journey. So when you have a bad day where you feel not worthy, allow it to be. Allow it to be for that day. Don't beat yourself up that you've done something wrong. Okay. Wow. There's so many questions. Oh my God. Some of them I can't even read. I am stuck. Okay. Tan, I am stuck. I don't know what I should do next in my life career wise. I feel like everything is blocked. Nothing is coming my way. What should I do? Okay, Tan. This is a big, big, big question. Because when you feel so stuck and life seems so overwhelming, even taking a small step seems overwhelming. Like you're so lost, you don't even know what to do. So Tan, what it is that you have to take baby steps right now. It's about walking. It's not about running. It's not about even thinking about what you're going to do 1 week from now. It's not even thinking about what you're going to do 1 month from now. The only thing that you should focus when you're feeling that overwhelmed is how can I be present in this moment? Just this moment. Because this is all you can handle. You don't even think about tomorrow. Don't even think about 2 hours from now. Don't even think about 3 hours from now. Think about this moment. What little step can I make right here in the power of now? Because all of your power is right here, right now. What tiny step can I make right here, right now that makes me feel a little better? What can I do right here, right now that releases some of these thoughts? What can I say to myself right here, right now that doesn't make me feel overwhelmed? It's the feeling that you want to get. You want to feel 0.01% a little better right here, right now. So some of the phrases that you could say is, I don't need to know everything right here, right now. I say that a lot. When I feel overwhelmed, I say, I don't need to figure it out right here, right now. Things are okay right now, right? Do you have a food on the table? Do you have a house over? What are the things can you be grateful for right here, right now? Just even that simple. 3 things. Write down 3 things that you could just be grateful right here, right? Do you have food on the table? Yes, you do. Do you have roof overhead? Yes, you do. Right here, right now, what are the 3 things that you could just be grateful for so you could feel even 1% better or 0.01% better? So for you, Tan, I suggest that you just focus on this moment, the next minute. Then you focus on the next minute. Then you focus on the next minute. Don't even think about what you're going to do this afternoon. Take baby steps. Be present in the now. Try to find ways, say things to yourself that make you feel a little better in the now. It's about taking baby steps. And as you start taking these little baby steps, it's going to be a little bit more cumulative, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And you will see that things will start to open a little bit. You're feeling, the way you feel is the most important. The way you feel. That's why this venture that I'm doing now, it's all about emotional freedom. we're producing the prototype right now. It's all about emotional freedom. How do you feel? You have to get to a place where you feel a little more better, a little bit more better, but make it about this present moment. Don't even make it about tomorrow. So try that technique, Tam. Jenny, I had enormous childhood trauma. Oh my God. Oh my God, Jenny. I send you my love and blessings. Jenny says, I had enormous childhood trauma. I bit my nails till they bleed. Oh my God. Peed in the bed, rocked myself to sleep every night. I ran away many times. And my parents thought our home life was normal. Jenny, I definitely resonate with you because I had childhood trauma. I resonate with everybody that has had childhood trauma. You're welcome, Anna. You're welcome. I'm the person I can be. How does one, okay, so Sheila, how does one create the flow you were talking about? Augustine, I love the content you put up. Augustine, you're welcome. I am passionate about this because, you know, I had to change my own life. Okay, how does one create the flow you were talking about? Yeah, this is really, really a big question. Why? Because it's always about the flow of energy. You create the flow. All of our power is right here, right now. Our power is not in the future. Our power is not in the past. Why? Because all energy is moved right here, right now. Energy does not move in the future. Energy does not move in the past. That's why there's a beautiful quote by a beautiful philosopher called Wittgenstein. Wittgenstein, yeah. He says, those who live in the now have eternal life. Those who live in the now have eternal life. Why does he say that those who live in the now have eternal life? Because when you peel away this physical body, all of this physical form, you peel it all away. It's a non-physical energy consciousness, this wave frequency consciousness, energy consciousness. It's non-physical that only lives in the now. There is no past. There is no future in the quantum realm, in this energy, the higher consciousness realm. When we talk about higher consciousness realm, there is no future. There is no past. There's only now. So when you become present in this moment, this eternal moment of now, and you make it about now, and you are fully present in the now, whatever you do, whether you're eating breakfast, whether you're on this Zoom webinar, whether you're writing a book, whether you're taking a shower, when you are fully present in this moment and not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, you are in that flow. You are in the flow of the now. That's when all of the cooperative components start to come in. Like it's just raining in your life. It's just, things just drop and you take very little action. So being fully present in this moment and making it all about, so when I walk my dog and I start having thoughts about like the future, what I got to do, all this stuff, I start doing blessings. Everything that I see in front of me, I say, thank you, tree. Thank you, sun. Thank you, concrete. Thank you, fire hydrant. Thank you, traffic light. Thank you, bushes. Why? Because when I keep blessing and thanking what is in front of me, I'm bringing my energy back to the now. I'm bringing my attention back to the now. And as I keep bringing it back to this moment and making it about the now, I am leveraging the power of the universe. I am connecting to these energetic forces, and therefore I am in the flow. Being in flow means you are aligned within yourself and the universal forces. That's the flow. So make it about the now. That is so, so important. It is your power is only ever right here, right now. And that's why we meditate. Meditation is a wonderful tool to train yourself to be in the now. That's why we meditate. The reason why we go like this is so that as we move through the day, whether we're picking up our children from school, whether we're going food shopping, we're training ourselves to be more and more present in the now. And as you become so present in this moment, that flow naturally happens. So I hope I answered your question, Sheila. It's about being in the now. Yeah. Francisco. Okay. He's been, I have been experiencing a lot of anxiety lately and can't seem to deal with chaotic energy throughout the day. I understand. So, okay. So I want to also talk about this. This is a really important topic about anxiety and fear, because I have the last months, I've had anxiety and fear that just came up like this. And sometimes during my meditation, all of a sudden I have anxiety that just comes up. And it seems like it's random. Or sometimes if I'm driving a car, anxiety might just trigger. It just seems so random, this anxiety. So you have to understand that if you are empathic, first of all, if you're empathic, meaning that you absorb the energy of other people, you're designed, your human design is in such a way that you are absorbing energy because that emotional center is open and undefined. What's happening is a lot of times you're absorbing the energy of this entire world, of all the chaos, all of the suffering and pain and anxiety and stress of other people. You are absorbing that, especially if you're an empath. Now, it also could be that when you have anxiety and it's triggered and you're not sure where it's coming from, it could also be something from your past life or something from your childhood. Because what happens is there's a genius book called by Brian Weiss called Many Lives, Many Masters. And he had this patient named Catherine who had this enormous anxiety. She had so much anxiety. It was to the point where she was debilitated. This woman was really almost debilitated. And so she came to see him and he tried different things. It didn't quite work. And he had this idea, a thought of trying hypnotherapy on her. And she was so hypnotizable, if that's a word. And she started, when he hypnotized her, she started recalling every single, like all of her past lives in such detail that he knew that she was not making this stuff up, that this was events of her past lives. She started speaking in different language of that time. And so as she started to recall all of the past lives and the trauma events that happened in her past lives, and she was able to resolve it during this hypnotherapy, her anxiety started to subside. So I attribute sometimes this anxiety that you cannot seem to shake off is because A, you might be an empath, that you're absorbing the energies of this planet around you. B, you have trauma from your past lives that are unconscious, that in certain situations that it starts to trigger this anxiety. C, it could be a trauma from your childhood. And some of my anxiety that gets triggered right now, I realize it's from my childhood trauma. Why? Because when I was growing up as a child, I never felt safe, right? Never felt safe. Because why? Because we were basically living with a father who was mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive, and we never knew when he was going to blow up, right? So I literally lived every single day of my life growing up in childhood trauma. So I never felt safe. And so what I noticed that sometimes when I feel like this, I get this anxiety and it just triggers. I realize that, anxiety is a feeling that I am not safe. I am not secure, right? Any anxiety, fear, stress is a feeling that I have no security. I do not feel safe. And so I realized, wow, I never felt safe as a child. So certain situations that happen unconsciously will trigger that feeling of unsafe and therefore trigger that feeling of anxiety. So I have to do a lot of things, like I do emotional freedom technique. I have to do, so what I do is when those anxiety come up, I do soul talk. I do soul talk with anxiety. So I close my eyes when anxiety hits. I close my eyes and I feel where that anxiety in my body manifests. Is it manifesting in my heart? Is it manifesting in my stomach? Usually when anxiety happens for me, it manifests in my chest where I feel a contraction. That's a sign of anxiety for me. That's a physical manifestation of anxiety. So what do? I stop everything. I close my eyes. I start soul talking to that area of my body. I say, I love you. I love you. I love you. You're safe. You're safe. What do you need from me? What do you need from me? I did a meditation called Soul Talk with Anxiety and Fear. It's on my YouTube channel under the meditation playlist, Francisco. So go there and do that meditation where I am literally talking to my anxiety and saying, what do you need? What do you need? And your anxiety will tell you, it says, I need safety. You're safe. And then I would visualize a situation where my mother, and it could be something else for you, but I would visualize where my mother just has her whole arms just wrapped around me, just cuddling me. You're safe. You're safe. And when I do that meditation, that soul talk meditation with my anxiety, maybe 5-10 minutes later, my anxiety starts to subside. It really, really works because every part of your body is a consciousness, meaning it's an intelligent awareness. So you want to give that part of your body where the anxiety manifests love. Look up that meditation. It's called Soul Talk on Anxiety Meditation. Wow, Jenny. She says, I chant, I think good and happy thoughts over and over when I gravitate to negative thoughts. Absolutely. And that's training. That's training your subconscious mind. Okay, Sheila. Okay, you think you get it. Go with the flow. My hardest lesson, I think. Yeah, it takes practice. Mary Weiss. Oh, thank you, Mary. That's so sweet. You are awesome as well. Thank you. Okay, so going back to that money flow, if you have any other questions, I think some of the questions are at the top and I skipped it over. I want to answer as many questions for you as you can. And if there's anything that you need me to clarify, let me know. Sheila, how can I feel more peace in my apartment? Right. I always say peace comes inside out. There's no peace anywhere if there's no peace in here. And so I was listening to an amazing podcast by a Kabbalah teacher named Marcus Weston. And he said he noticed that he had a daughter and he noticed that she was messing up a lot of this cabinet he has. She messed it all up. And he said to his daughter, why are you doing that? Why are you messing it up? And the daughter said to him something so profound. She says, Daddy, why are you messed up? So what he's saying is your physical world, your apartment, any outer experiences that you meet, whether it's relationships, career, money, whatever it is a reflection of your inner world. So if you want to have peace in your apartment, you must first have peace inside. There's no possibility of having any peace in your external world without having peace inside. It starts with in here. So when nasty people show up, or when outer world experiences that show up that you do not desire, you have to look inward and you have to say, why are these things or people or situations in my outer world showing up? You have to examine what's going on in your inner world that is attracting this outer world chaos that you think it is. Peace begins with you. You know, Gandhi says, peace begins with you. Peace begins with me. Because when you have that unconditional peace in here, I guarantee if you have a war zone going on right outside of you in your backyard or in your apartment, if you have that ultimate peace, I'm talking about at the highest level of peace. We're talking about the Buddha level of peace. We're talking about the God-given, the God layer of peace. We're talking about the divine layer of peace. We're talking about unconditional peace. When you have unconditional peace in here, whatever is going on in your outer world doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you can't change anything in your outer world. You can't change anything in your outer world if your inner world is not at peace. So you've got to work in here. Pamela, oh, that is what you needed to hear today? Okay. How to know my purpose? Okay, so M. Kranti wants to know, how do I know the purpose of my life? Yes, this is a great question. This is a great question. Yes, Jenny, peace begins within. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you will start to see, when you have peace inside, you will start to see how things organically, naturally start to change in your outer world. It just organically, naturally happens because all energy is connected. How do I know the purpose of my life? This is a great question. This is a great question. You know, your soul, this non-physical entity that you truly are, this physical body is just a temporary house for your soul, your eternal soul, that non-physical energy consciousness, or what we call the soul. That soul wants to constantly expand and grow. It's eternal. The expansion and growth of it is eternal. And that is what you desire. What you desire the most is for that soul to expand and grow. And so you have physical experiences in this physical life to have lots of lesson to learn for that expansion and growth of the soul. So your soul already knows its path. I guarantee your soul already knows its path in this life. It knows. It knows exactly what you're supposed to be doing, whether you're supposed to be a writer, whether you're supposed to change careers, whether you're supposed to be a doctor, whether you're supposed to be a social worker, whether you're supposed to be a musician. Your soul already knows, because it's in that path that you are going to feel that expansion and growth of that soul. And so one of the things that I discovered about finding that purpose in my life, and this comes, you know, and finding that soul's path by following my soul's path, by aligning with my soul's path and taking action that align with my soul's path, because your soul already knows what it's supposed to do. What I realized is that the way to get there is through service. You know, there's a great quote. One of my greatest favorite quotes of all time is by the great Gandhi. He says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Think about that. Wow. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Can you believe what that is saying? What is that saying? It is so profound. It is so deep. It has so much wisdom in so many levels. Is that when you start to put out when you start to understand that your purpose in this physical form is to somehow serve the divine, to somehow serve your fellow humans, and therefore you're serving the divine. When you start serving your fellow humans with unconditional giving, then you are serving the divine. Now, when I say unconditional giving, I'm not talking about people who are trying to take advantage of you. You know, if people are trying to take advantage of you, that's not, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. That's creating negative energy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you say, okay, whatever I do, whether I'm a musician, whether I'm a writer, whether I'm an entrepreneur, whether I'm a blogger, whether I'm a doctor, I am doing this because I want to serve my fellow humans. And therefore, I'm serving God. So the service, being of service to your fellow humans and to this planet, is how you start to begin by finding your life's purpose. Because it's in the service that will reveal to you in which direction your life is supposed to go. Which way? Make it about your service. So whether, you know, musicians serve, how do they serve? Musicians serve because when they produce this incredible music, it touches people's heart and souls with an audience of listeners, right? And so they're serving. And when, you know, sometimes you hear the most beautiful music and you start tearing up. Why? That musician is actually serving because that musician has an innate talent that God gave to that musician to become a musician. Because when that musician creates music, it will resonate with the heart and souls of people. And that's how that musician is serving. So you want to find your passion, your hidden talents, the talents that God gave you, and you want to use that talent to serve your fellow humans. And that's how you are on your soul's path. And when you are on your soul's path, you are on your life's purpose. So Kranti, did I answer your question? Okay, Jenny. You said it's the action I am challenged. Okay. Maybe you can I'm not sure about the question a little bit. Maybe you can be more specific about that. It's the action I am challenged. Okay, so you're saying that you're not sure what action to take. Yeah. Okay, if that's the question, you're not sure what action to take. That's a great question. Hello, Joelle. Hello, Blueberry. The action, I always say, and I've said this a million times, and I keep saying it a million times, the action is not that. It's secondary. Action is not the most important thing. Action must follow mindfulness, must follow inspirational ideas. So, like I said before at the beginning, there are people who take lots of action and they throw things against the wall, hoping that something will stick. And oftentimes they take lots of action and it doesn't pan out for them because they really haven't made a good decision. The decision making comes from within. It comes from a higher space. It comes from your higher self. So if you start meditating and you're really connecting to your higher self, that higher consciousness level, it's going to start speaking to you. Your higher self is going to speak to you. Say yes to this, say no to this, say yes to this, so say no to that. And then from that higher space, you're getting these powerful answers, right? Within yourself, that inner authority. Now you can take action and you can feel confident about that action. I'm not saying that it's going to work every single time, but the more that you do it, the more you practice listening to your inner authority, listening to your higher self, the more you're going to get it right over the years, the better you're going to get. So it's not, make action secondary. Action is secondary. Get hooked up with your inner self. Get hooked up with your higher self. Get hooked up with the powerful forces of the universe, and then take action. Okay, Joelle. So Jenny, I hope I answered that. Okay, you're welcome, Jenny. Okay, Joelle, I was wondering if it is all right to use my healing stones in a building full of bad spirits, and we think there's a portal. Okay. Yes, I don't think that sometimes, sometimes you go to these, healing centers, like a big healing center, and they have these huge the crystals, they have large ones, because, they're treating people of cancer or maybe mental, emotional, drug abuse or whatever. So yes, it never hurts. What I would do, Joelle, is I would, what it is, this is that I would focus on working on yourself only, Joelle. Don't worry about the building. Don't worry about the people around you. Don't worry about that. That's not your job to worry about anything outside of your control, because you can't control what's happening in the building, right? The only thing that you can control is here. So if you're going to use that healing stone to clean your energy and keep your energy clean, maybe you wear a stone, but make sure that then that is good. Why? Because as you keep cleaning your own energy, what's happening is by law of attraction, you're a shield to those negative energies around you. You become a shield. You want to become a shield. You want to become a virtual shield. And so even though you're in a building that might not have the best energy, if you clean yourself energetically in here, you show up clean, you will not attract those things even in that building, because you've built an energetic shield around you. So if you're going to use the healing stones to clean yourself, yes. But if you're going to try to use the stones to clean the building, I say good luck, because you're going to need a lot of stones. It's going to be a huge task. The task will be too great. And I'm not saying it's not possible. You could clean the building, but you're going to need probably some huge stones. And those stones have to be cleaned maybe daily, because there's so much negative energy. So the smart thing here to do is to clean yourself. That's it. Just worry about cleaning yourself and use the stones to clean your own energy. Don't try to use the stones to clean other people's space. That's not your job. And I guarantee it's probably not going to be effective. So oh, good. Okay, Joelle, I'm so glad that that helped. Okay, everyone. It's getting to 10 o'clock. I have a conference call coming up very soon. So I'm going to come on every few weeks to answer questions. And there's a couple of guests that I'm bringing on. I'm going to bring in this in February 25th. I'm bringing in this beautiful sound healing, vibrational healer named Dr. Ivy. She is amazing. I met her at a online spiritual retreat, and I invited her. So I will come on every few weeks to answer questions for you. And because I know I put out videos, but you might have some questions. Oh, you're right. Even the priest found hard. That's funny, Joelle. So I just want to leave with a little prayer. Let's do a little prayer. Let's connect to the divine. Let's leverage the power of the divine. Let's be here and gather all of our energies together for this little prayer. So please join me. Dear God, dear spirit guides, dear divine, dear spirit angels, thank you so much for bringing us all together energetically in this time where, viewers can ask questions and I can answer. And I thank you so much for allowing me to channel your messages so I can provide the right answers for the viewers who so want your healing and love. We thank you so much for your divine guidance, your unconditional support, your unconditional love, your unconditional ways to make things happen that is far beyond us. And we thank you for allowing us to release, surrender to your infinite wisdom, infinite love, infinite ways to make all things happen. We surrender worry, we surrender doubt, we surrender fear, we surrender lack of self worth. We surrender all of these emotions that do not serve us, knowing that you have unconditional love, unconditional support, unconditional wisdom, unconditional power to allow us to be in your flow. And as the more we surrender, the more we receive. So we thank you for allowing us to be in this beautiful energetic space and share it with you and allow us to connect to your infinite love, infinite power. We feel so unconditionally loved, unconditionally protected, unconditionally guided by a highest good. So thank you so much for allowing this opportunity to gather together our energies to really feel your divine guidance, divine love, divine path, divine wisdom. And we feel so grateful right here, right now. And we look forward to moving our day with such flow, with such ease, because we are so present in the now. Thank you. Amen. Namaste. I'll see you soon. Bye. Ayusha, you say you're depressed. I will answer that question next time. So come on next time and I will answer that question. Bye, everyone. I love you.